Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to Help How Do I. And in this episode, what I'm going to try and do is solve a problem that I had, was where I had a particular room in the house where my router came in, so Virgin Media, the broadband comes into a particular room, but actually what I wanted was to then run a network from that room to other parts of the house without digging up the floor. So what I did is drill through the wall, took some cabling around to various other rooms, and terminated it so you can then plug in your devices, whether that's TV, Xbox, etc., directly, effectively into the router via the Ethernet cable. So I lost some of the videos because I did it a little while ago and I've accidentally deleted some of the videos, but hopefully everyone will have a slightly different problem. But I think there's enough footage to show how to do the component parts, and you can then figure out, okay, well, what does a solution look like for me? And there'll be enough video to sort of help you do those different bits. So what I'll do is I'll show you in a drawing the specific problem I had to solve. And then there will be we're going to the normal videos of showing how to go through the wall, how to terminate in on the patch box, and set it all up. But I'll show you as well what I've actually achieved first. So we'll do it a little bit back to front compared to normal. But hopefully it'll give you a good idea of what we're trying to achieve and how we did it, and then you can kind of extend that and use that you know, in your own problems and at home. So enjoy the video and speak to you in a bit. Bye. In order to show you the problem I had, I've drawn a little floor plan sketch. So here in the study, this is where the Virgin router terminates. So ultimately there's a cable that goes out to the Virgin box here, and this router has got a gigabit Ethernet port on the back of it, and there's various computers and stuff in here. So ultimately there is a switch, a 4-port switch or 5-port switch plugged into the back here where this stuff plugs into, which is great. But what I really wanted to do is to extend that wired Ethernet to other areas of the house. This wall here is an existing, was originally an outside wall before an extension, so very hard to get decent Wi-Fi between here and anywhere else in the house because there's a great big wall in the way. Also, there's a TV and Xbox and stuff in the playroom, same thing in the lounge. So really these areas ideally would be wired directly into the gigabit network, and also then I can set up a Wi-Fi router here, which is effectively in the center of the house, so get the best coverage, and that would be ideally plugged, you know, directly into the wired Ethernet rather than Wi-Fi. So the problem is, how do I extend the wired network without digging up floors in the kitchen or have unsightly wires, you know, through the middle of the house? So what I decided to do is to go through the outside wall here, and effectively I've run a cable along the outside of the house here, up and through the wall into the playroom. So there's then a switch here in the playroom, and then another cable that goes along the wall here through the kitchen, and then into, there's a sort of TV cupboard or whatever through the cupboard there. So basically extending the network via the outside of the house to a little hub here, and then from there following the skirting over the door, skirting, and then into this room. And effectively then it means that I've got a gigabit switch here, all connected to then the gigabit switch there, which is connected to the router. Okay, so this is the office. Here's the router, and then from the back of that, it comes down into I think that's a 5-port switch, and then
this is the termination from the outside. So basically it goes from the switch into that. So this is the CAT6 cable. This is a weatherproof one, and up along the top, down, and behind here it goes into the playroom. So the cable terminates here into this 8-port switch, and then there is another cable that runs along the side, so the white one along the side, up over a door, and through a wall here. So through the wall here, and then it routes through the kitchen wall into the cupboard in the lounge. So then I terminated it here in this cupboard, and that routes up to another switch behind here, and it plugs into the TV and Wi-Fi, mesh, etc. So the parts list, depending on how many you're doing, the box, I've got 40mm depth on these boxes, which is probably more than I needed. But anyway, so the boxes that are going on the wall, these are the face plates and the RJ45 modules that fit inside there. In order to put the wiring in, you need a push down tool. That's what you use to put the wiring in. Got some of these. They're basically the sort of covers for when we drill into the wall. I only need one. Rather huge drill bit, 12mm masonry bit to go through the 2 layers of brick. Some rounded staples to staple the wire up. Got 15 meters of outdoor grade CAT6 cable. So this comes with connectors on the end. I'll cut those off effectively. I don't need those, and we'll basically go through the wall and then into there. And that came with some cable ties, which may or may not be useful. So apart from that, I think just a couple of screwdrivers is what we need. So the first thing we'll do is go and drill a great big hole with that. So I want the Ethernet port coming in just the right hand side of that existing box. So that box is basically where the cable terminates. So I'm going to go probably about 200mm, 150, 200mm this side of that, come through here, and then I can mount the box there, which will then connect up to the hub, which is sitting above. So let's go to the outside and stick a hole in. Okay, so this is where the current virgin cable goes in. So I want to, having measured it, about there is where I'm going to put it in this brick here. So on hammer, brand new drill bit, try and make it go in straight. There you go. Okay, so just put a straightened coat hanger through, so that'll be coming out the other side. I can then tie the wire to the end of the coat hanger and pull it back. Otherwise it'd be hard to get the wire through the cavity between the two bricks. So hopefully this will make it straightforward. So what I'm going to do is take the end off. I don't need the end, just the cable. So what I'm going to do is use one of these that can then basically put a bit of silicone and what have you and put in there to sort of seal the hole. So thread that through first of all, jam the wire coat hanger and the wire together, and then I should be able to just feed this. There we are, that's fed through. Something like that. Not too bad. Put some silicone around that later on, just to seal it up. So there's the cable coming through the other side, connected to the coat hanger. Now I need to tack up the cable around the outside of the house and then terminate it on this end. So what I'm going to do is use this staple gun to staple into the wood, into the soffit or fascia, whatever it's called, soffit thing. I pushed the coat hanger through from the other side, and so as before, all I need to do is to put one of those in, and we'll put the cable on and hopefully pass it through. Now thread that through. It's basically got one of these grommets on the other side. Yeah, got it. And there we have it.
So what I'm going to do here is drill out a couple of holes for fixing to the wall, and in one of the boxes I am going to drill a hole from the bottom, because it's going to have two cables in, one coming in from the back and one coming in from below. So I've pre-drilled the holes now, and then we can go inside and get it all fixed up. Okay, so a hole through there, then a couple of holes for mounting.
So I need to take out that little cutout so that pass the cable through. So take a screwdriver, hammer, and just gently tap. It should just break apart quite easily. Yeah. So just get a mark now on the wall where this needs to go. So I've got another cable which I'm running out of this box as well. So like before, I'm going to cut the cable because we're going to terminate it into the box. That's the one that's coming up through this hole. Two cables that will then is to connect up to the front patch panel, which is here. So what I'm going to do, I can put a bit of cable in there. So in order to have room to work, I'll cut them off about here. So what we need to do is strip the cable first of all. And the way this is going to work is we strip the cable. There's 4 pairs of wires and then therefore 8 sockets on each. So we basically need about that much. And then using the punch down tool, we punch into there. And there's a strict color coding, which I will put a slide up into to show which wire goes into which of the ports on this. Cut round the outside of the cable, but not the cores inside. So just using this blade. There we go, okay. So there we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of wires, brown, orange, green and blue. So let's just cut this core away. Where did I put those? The punch down tool, which is basically we punch down and that automatically cuts the cable. So it looks like this. So all we need to do is to lay the cable along. We don't need to actually cut this, but it is pretty hard to see which one is which because I haven't got my glasses on.
I wanted to mention here that there are 2 wiring standards which may cause some confusion, 568A and 568B. If you look at the diagram, one of the modules I had only had the pinouts for 568B. The other one on the right hand side had both. The key point here is that you need to make sure that you use the same standard on each end. And my suggestion would be use 568B. That's more common and widely used. So, and the other thing I would do is take a photo, as I've done here, blow it up, print it out, so that when it's going to be very hard to see while you're doing the wiring, the colours, etc. So if you have a bigger printed out piece of paper with the pinouts on, that'll make things much easier. And make sure you use the same standard 568B on both ends.
So I'm not sure if you can see that, but following those instructions, that's this one side cabled in. Okay, and then the same process. So taking our chart, making sure we've got it the right way up. It's that way. I'm going to start with the top, white and the green. we get started, it sort of holds itself in place. So goes out the way. White and green, and then straight green, solid green. And basically pull it down so it just starts to hold itself in place. And then on the opposite side we have white and blue, and then solid blue. Okay. Slips out. That did not go in. Really does not want to go in this one. There we go. Move those ones out of the way. That's better. And then it's actually the wrong way around. We need that pair is over that side, that pair is over that side. So orange and white at the top. And then orange at the bottom right. Finally, so here we have brown and white. And brown. Okay. So let's just compare, check that's right. Green and white, green, brown and white, brown, blue and white, blue, orange and white, orange. Looks good. Okay, this one is a slightly different module that fits into a faceplate like that. It clips in. And it's much easier to see on these which colour's which. This only has the wiring for the type B rather than the type A. So basically you're going to follow the same process, cut off the wires, put those in there, and then we'll connect the two things up. Okay, so it's at this point I deleted the rest of the video, but ultimately what's missing is just routing the cable round on the inside of the playroom, going through a couple of internal walls, and
and pushing the cable through. So really exactly the same techniques that I've already shown in the video, just repeated for the other box that ultimately was in the cupboard in the lounge. So, you know, hopefully the techniques have already been shown. So I'm going to finish the video there. Hopefully it'll be useful. If you've got any questions, please, as always, just make a comment and I'll try and get back to you and help as soon as I can. So hopefully it's been useful, and speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. I hope that was helpful. Please like and subscribe and check back for more videos. Thanks. Bye.